show. Hopefully you will be educated in some way, feel empowered by that education, and be a little entertained with me and my guest, who's not here yet. My guest happens to be my oldest daughter, Elyssa, and hopefully she will join us soon. And I keep waiting for it. But in the meantime, I thought it would be really fun to introduce one of my daughters. I have two, Elyssa, who's 33, and Alexis, who's 29, and to get some insight into what it was like being my daughter. I think so many people don't realize that I was a bit of a disciplinarian, because people who have met me later in life feel that I'm this free-spirited human. And I quite honestly don't regard myself as a free spirit at all. So it will be really interesting to hear from Elyssa. And if her sister Lexi is listening to the show right now, she's going to be rolling her eyes. So a few of the things that I talk about is, please go to where you listen to podcasts, whether it's Spotify or Apple or any streaming podcast platform, and please leave us a message, review. We have a 5-star rating. Please email me and let me know what you would like to hear in the show. I am very open. I love talking about relationships and sex and fitness and health, because I believe that if you want to have the best sex of your life, if you want to have the most intimate relationship with somebody, that you need to feel good about yourself. And I'm going to be actually introducing a program very soon for August that is going to help you all feel the best that you can, so you have this great, amazing life. So go to wherever you listen to podcasts, and please rate and review. And also you can find me on YouTube at Jodi Harrison Bauer, and you can see what me and my guest looks like. And my daughter decided to arrive today to join me on the show because she lives here. I'm actually doing the show from Miami, and I wish I can show you the beautiful view in the back, but it will ruin, then you won't be able to see us. So Elyssa, hello. Hi. I don't know if the mic can pick you up, so let's get moving here.
Okay.
And I left you some tequila out there. They don't let us drink anything or eat anything in this room.
Thank you. I'm just running from work.
I wanted to start with, I want to tell you about that. I also have been talking about Sakara, which is a plant-based company that brings health and wellness into your life. I love their metabolism powder. You can use my code EXOJODI and go to sakara.com. That's SAKARA.com. Use my code EXOJODI. Also, there is another company that I talk about online on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram or TikTok, and I talk about it often. Also, I have extensions in my hair. My hair length is about up to my shoulders, but it's fine. And it started getting finer as I got older. But whether you're my age or you're in your 20s or 30s, you might want more voluminous, thicker hair. You might want to try your hair, let your hair grow. You might have dealt with some other health issues that has stunted your hair growth or skin or wellness, but it's called WellBell. I have them on my show in the spring. It is a wonderful company, and I now have a code that you can use that you can get 10% off, I believe. So you go to WellBell, that's WELLBEL.com, and use my code JODI10. That's JODI 10. So try it out. I'd love to hear from you. And while Elyssa is still, I think, hopefully getting, doing a shot of tequila or
a perfect example of our relationship.
Something. Yes, this is I don't know if they could pick you up right now, but this is a perfect example of our relationship, because
the traits I got from you.
Okay. Traits that they got. Yeah, that you got from me. So she's doing a shot of tequila. Can I have that? And then we can't have any alcohol in here. So just give that to me really fast. Okay.
Are you doing this on video?
Yes, we're on video right now.
You're going to do that on video?
Because we don't have a glass. So please get this out of here before they come in here and they yell at me.
I live here.
All right, come over here. So come sit down.
Hang on.
I have some wonderful quotes about this is my daughter, Elyssa. There she is.
Hi.
There she is. Good. This is Elyssa Harrison Mangs, my oldest daughter, who's 33 years old. Yes, I gave birth to her June 13th, 1989. I can't believe it. You look gorgeous.
Coming
I
from
love you.
work.
Yes.
Just for my mom.
I know. I feel so grateful. All right, I'm going to take out one of these because I actually don't need them in my ear right now. But I wanted to start out the show because it is a mother-daughter. And you know how much I love you. I'm going to start crying.
Oh gosh, don't. Not
She
yet.
gave me a hard time about being on the show, but I really thought it would be a great way for you all to get to know me. I love this one. A daughter may outgrow your lap. Probably never.
Not really.
But she will never outgrow your heart. And this one's very interesting. A mother who radiates self-love and self-acceptance actually vaccinates her daughter against low self-esteem. Now, I can't say that I've always radiated high self-esteem, especially after your dad and I got divorced. But
I don't think I realized that until I was older, maybe. I think that I can speak for Lexi, my younger sister as well, that you kind of always did. It just, you instilled different things upon us as we got older that I don't think you probably would have realized about yourself or found so important if you hadn't gone through what you went through.
Self-esteem in a son or a daughter, but you know, I told Alyssa's dad that when we decided to have a family, you have no idea how much I love my children. I know I talked about them a lot on this show, but to be here and to be able to do this show, you've made me so happy.
I know,
and I don't want this to be a mush fest.
It will be.
Anyway, you know, I didn't think that I was the type to have children, and it wasn't because I felt selfish or felt anything. It's just, I wasn't sure if I would be a really good mom. I wasn't sure if I wanted the responsibility. I wasn't sure if that was going to be my thing. And then when I met your dad and he was like, hey, listen, like, I love you, you love me, but I want to have children. I'm like, yeah, I don't really know if the children thing is going to work for me.
Young,
we were young. We were 23.
To think back to when I was 23, I wasn't thinking about children.
Right. But my mom made me feel like
you were old.
I was old.
Yeah.
So I hurried up. I mean, I fell in love with your father. No doubt. So once I was in love and I was like, oh, creating something together with somebody you love would be amazing. So had no problem getting pregnant with you on a cruise ship in Bermuda during the height of the hurricane season in August, because we didn't have any money. And
you and dad would never go on a cruise.
Yeah.
But it wasn't always, it was easy to conceive me, but it wasn't always.
Luckily, I usually had a pretty easy time conceiving, but we'll get into that. So Elyssa was
Oh, are we starting to talk about what kind of child and infant?
So Elyssa was conceived on a cruise ship, and June. So Elyssa was originally due
6,
7, 8, 9, which would have been a really, really cool date of birth. But given Elyssa, she was late. She was 6 days late. Now,
it was Mary Kate and Ashley's birthday, so it was a blessing.
Okay, so I have millennial children. I am a baby boomer. Right. They were obsessed with Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. Why were you obsessed with them?
Well, Full House to start. And then like, as they grew up, they were just beautiful and like perfect.
But you loved the fact that they had the same birthday.
Oh yeah.
Wait, how old are they now?
I think 2 or 3 years older than me.
Okay. So Elyssa was born, her due date was 6, 7, 8, 9. I thought that was a really cool date of birth, but Elyssa was 6 days late. Of course she was late. And she was born on my grandmother's birthday, Ethel. And in Jewish tradition, we name the ones who have passed away after the new lives that come into.
We name the new lives after the ones that have passed away.
Correct. Yes. Yes. So Elyssa is Elyssa with an E after Ethel. And I couldn't be happier that she was born on my grandmother's birthday, because you really instill her spirit of like, where's the party? I mean,
not so much anymore, but I'm old. I'm getting up there. You're not. But when I was younger, 100%.
100%. So Elyssa was a very independent child. So why don't we start getting into, if you are a parent, you will be able to relate to almost everything that I have to say about Elyssa. And so the biggest challenge was the first 9 months of her life, every time I put her on her back, she cried. So this is a very spirited human being and very stubborn. I was 9 months pregnant with her sister after having two miscarriages.
We're gonna go.
And Elyssa did not want to poop on the potty. We won't get into too much of that information. But eventually she gave in because I gave her mineral oil and orange juice, and she ended up going to poop on the potty. But
I was like 4.
You were almost 4 years old.
Yeah. It was about time.
So you were very stubborn.
It was about time.
So do you remember that?
I do remember. I mean, it's not embarrassing because it's so long ago, but like, I remember I used to like hide. I remember, meaning you and Dad have told me, that I used to go to the bathroom. Like I would hide behind plants in the house, and like, is that normal?
Well, I had a few weeks ago, I had a woman on my show talking about pelvic floor dysfunction, and part of it is like the bearing down part. So, and children wanting privacy, wanting privacy. That's what it was. So a lot of people know me as, I've been called free-spirited. Right.
I don't know if I would agree with that.
Right. I don't really regard myself as a free spirit either. So let's talk a little bit about Elyssa.
What kind of mom you were at the very beginning, because you said you weren't sure.
Right. So I wasn't really, thank you for keeping me on track.
You're welcome.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't know. And then I fell in love with her father, and then we got married, and then we were married for 3 years. And then I had Elyssa, and, being a mom has been my biggest purpose in life. I think that if you're a mom listening to the show right now, being a mom, it changes your life. And that's what I was scared about. Again, why do I call the show Fearlessly Authentic? I was scared. I was scared of childbirth. I was scared of everything. And being a mom just really gave me this beautiful purpose. But this kid was friggin' challenging.
But like, you also, sorry to go back, you also did, I mean, you were only like,
I was 20.
You were 28 when you had me.
Yes.
But like leading up to it, you had yes, you were a buyer, but you had other career goals.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for reminding me that I was a person before that.
You're welcome. And then when you got pregnant, you stopped at some point, but there was a point where you also were going to go to law school.
Right. Oh my goodness. See, I forget all these things. This is why I needed Elyssa on the show.
And then like when you used to go and look at your briefcase. So you can talk about that.
Thank you, Elyssa. So before I got pregnant, I had a career as a buyer, and I was very successful. I won all these awards. Actually, when I was like 7 months pregnant with you, I was
awards as you can win as like in your mid-20s.
Well, I mean, I won quarterly buyer of the year. I won buyer of the year. I won assistant buyer of the year. Like I got promotions, and I worked for a big company.
It hasn't been around for decades.
Well, it was like Macy's. It was a May company.
G Fox.
Right. But it was it was small. So, yeah. And then I remember like the last time I won an award, I was thinking I have this big belly in front of me. Oh my goodness. I'm going to like, Alyssa's up here.
A very large belly.
Yes. I gained 45 pounds.
And I was under 6 pounds.
Yes, Elyssa, she was 6 days late and she weighed 515. So yes, I had a career before that, but her dad and I decided that I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. And I am very grateful for that. But after like 9 months of being home with my child, and even though I made friends, we all had babies, blah, 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 something was missing. I needed to feel, even though I was fulfilled as a mom, I still felt that there were additional purposes in my life. And back then I didn't have any friends who had that. We were all stay-at-home moms. None of us worked. And I had this desire to do more. And that's when
and your mom didn't work.
My mom didn't work.
And Nanny didn't work.
Right. Your other grandmother didn't work. So it was sort of like a traditional thing that we did. And one of the things that I've said to you and Lexi is I don't want you to ever stop working. At this point, you're 33. So you're thinking, yeah, Mom, I would love to stop working.
Well, I used to say that I
think it's really, really important for women to keep one foot in the door in whatever they're doing. So whether it's your side hustle that you grow, I think it's really important, because I didn't go back to work until after I got divorced, which was at the age of 42. So I stopped working at the age of 28 and didn't get back into the workforce until 42. And yeah, it felt like something was missing. I always felt like I had this additional purpose in the world.
I mean, I have friends who have young kids who had great careers. Some of them still, worked consistently through, but the majority of them have taken a break or left. And at this point, they're starting to kind of say, I love being a mom, but their whole identity doesn't necessarily have to be a mom, because that'll always be who they are. But
whereas mine was
right.
That was my main purpose.
But then they feel the guilt of trying to go back to work too. So,
but you wanted me to just grow old after your dad and I got divorced. You just wanted me to grow old in a rocking chair with cats all over me, and I don't even like cats.
I mean, that's your own image of what I thought. I mean, are we going to skip forward to like,
well, we have to take a quick break, and then we're going to get into all of the things that you did that drove me crazy.
Okay.
So I think that we are going to take a break right now, and then we are going to come back with my beautiful and smart daughter and my firstborn, Elyssa Harrison Mangs. We will be back in a few minutes. Don't go away. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fearlessly Authentic. I'm Jodi Harrison Bauer, here with my beautiful daughter, my oldest daughter, Elyssa Harrison Mangs, and I'm so happy that she's here with me. Say hi.
Hi. And we're in Miami.
And we are in
grateful
Miami.
She's visiting me during the brutal summer.
Yes. No, I actually think the weather's beautiful.
Well, it's been very hot up north, so it's like kind of similar.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so when we took the break, we were talking about the fact that after her dad and I got divorced, Elyssa was like, she was very rebellious. Like, she didn't listen to anything that I told her to do. And one of the things she said, because I dated, but I dated when they were visiting their dad. I didn't date.
We didn't meet them.
No, you didn't meet anybody until they became a significant human to me.
I was nosy.
But remember, I had sex with one person one time before I met your dad. So like I had some making up to do. You didn't need to know that time, but like now you're fine. You know the story.
It's insane.
Right. It's not insane. You don't know how many people I had sex with, but
I'm saying before.
Right. Crazy. So you basically were like, I just need you to be in a rocking chair and like grow old and be alone.
Not a rocking chair. It was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just a chair.
Not cats and not.
You said cats.
No, here's what it is that the divorce was difficult on me.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, Lexi and I are better people, and so are you and Dad because of it. And we did have a fortunate situation compared to, others. But you started trying to find yourself again, and I didn't know what that meant. I mean, at the time you guys got divorced, I was 12, 13.
Like right after your Bob.
Yeah. So then the first thing I remember is I went to sleepaway camp and it was visiting day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And my mom and Dad both showed up, but my mom was wearing, I'll never forget, you were wearing a white tank top with skinny straps.
I remember
and you actually had boobs.
Yeah.
And you weren't wearing a bra because you didn't need to, because you just had a boob job, but nobody told me. Like, I don't know how you would really tell a 13 or 14-year-old girl that, but you just showed up. And I remember my friend Stephanie was like, she saw you walking up the hill and she was like, why does Jodi have boobs? And I was like, what do you mean? And I lost my shit.
I remember.
Because they were out there.
And they weren't even big.
No, they weren't, but
they were bigger.
Yeah. And it wasn't as.
Yeah, I didn't look like your mom.
Put it this way. What year was that? That was like 2002 or something?
2003.
Okay. It's not like, A, I was young. B, it's not like plastic surgery was something that was widely talked about as like something that was like no big deal. So it was a bigger deal versus like if it were to happen now.
Right.
So that was one thing. And I was like, and obviously all of my guy friends were like, oh, look at your mom's boobs. And I was like, oh, come on.
Wait, can we talk about when I used to come pick you up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my mom is obviously beautiful, but you know, she started finding herself dressing a little bit, maybe sexier, and not in anything inappropriate, but just, you know, she wasn't like a frumpy mom, which I never wanted and never wished you were. It was just, it got to a point where I was like, oh, sick. My mom's hot. And I loved that. But when I was
when you
younger,
were 15, you did not love it. So my hair, I was growing my hair longer. I had my boobs out there, even though they were just C's.
You would come and pick me up from school before I got my license.
In my convertible.
And there was always like a line, like a car line, whatever. Right. And every time like you would hang out on the lawn waiting for your parents to pick you up. Yes. Okay. And every time you would come up, all my guy friends would come and they would be like sitting on the lawn. They'd be like, Jodi's coming, Jodi's coming. And this is when like the song Stacy's Mom came out.
Oh, right.
So I forget who sings it. I want to say like Blink-182, but I don't remember. I don't think it is. But so that quickly got changed to Lyssa's Mom. And I mean, go ahead. Once I was like a senior in high school, I was like, it wasn't.
You didn't care. Why? Because you were hot then.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, or I just like came to terms with it and like realized I was just
when I gave Sean a piece of gum and he's like, oh, I just got this piece of gum from Jodi.
No, but shout out Sean Rose. So
wait, but let me just say, I remember this vividly. You go, Mom, do not get out of your car. Stay in the car. Do not get out of the car.
No, you never got. Why would you get out of the car?
You just said I was hanging out in the lawn.
No, I was with my friends waiting for the cars to come up. It was that like the junior school and the upper school.
You were like in 7th or 8th grade.
Would hang out and get picked up on one side of the school because I went to a school that was pre-K through 12. And then I used to ask you or yell at you to come pick me up where like the babies got picked up so that I didn't have to like have this whole show every day on the lawn when my mom came to pick me up.
Right.
And mind you, you weren't doing anything. You were just picking me up.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I was like a pubescent kid.
Right. And by the way, I would have gotten bigger boobs. But one of the reasons I didn't get bigger boobs even then was because you and Lexi didn't have them yet. So in 2008, I went back and got bigger ones. Just FYI, it could have gone bigger, but I didn't because of you. Yeah, okay. Anyway, okay. So moving on.
Yes.
But you weren't embarrassed of me. You were just, I made you feel uncomfortable. And I'm sorry. Because,
no, I was like, oh,
you know what's weird? I just want to say this. And this is screaming, or is that? Well, my ears are a little clogged up right now. So I don't know.
I talk loud too. I get it from you.
Do I seem old to you?
Do I seem old to you?
Do I seem old to you?
No, we're like best.
But you get aggravated like when I can't do certain things. Like I said, how do I figure out how to find my phone?
I mean, Mom, like you're so like in with like modern day stuff, like for example, TikTok that like I'm not even on. But like you can't do like I can swear on this, right?
Yes, you can say anything you want.
You can't do like basic shit. And Lexi gets annoyed with you too. But anyway, okay. So
let's talk about.
Well, no, we're going. So high school. That was like 15. Then I got my license. And mind you, I'm just going to put it out there. As difficult as I was a good kid. I never got in like big trouble. I wasn't like getting in trouble with the law or anything.
Oh God, no. But you were doing things that I didn't find out until after like you graduated from college.
That's very normal.
Like you used to go to Dunkin' Donuts and put vodka in your Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee.
It wasn't vodka, actually. It was
great.
Shout out to the Neens. It was, we would go like when we had the first or second period free, and we would go to the Dunkin' Donuts down the street. We'd get our iced coffee.
You know, all the guys at Voice America are listening to this, and they're all probably your age or around the same age.
I don't know if everyone did this, but I don't think so. But there was this liquor called Cyclone. It was Ciclone. And yeah, we found out later in college, once it got discontinued, that it was rum and tequila.
That's disgusting.
Vile. So we used to put that in our iced coffees and get bacon, egg, and cheeses, and then go back to school and we were drunk. This was senior year mainly. We were all already in college.
Right. You had gotten into college. So let's go back. Let's just go back because I want to talk about a few things.
The things that kids these days don't deal with.
The things that kids these days don't understand. The TikTokers. What generation is that?
Gen Z.
Gen Z. Okay. So anyway, so Elyssa gets her license and she goes to a private school. Okay. I'm just going to throw it out there. So there are kids from all different towns. So it's not like she's just hanging out with kids in our town. She says she's going to her friend's house. Go ahead. Tell the story.
Also, like once we got our license, the way it worked out of safety really was that if there was a party at one of our friends' houses, the majority of the people would sleep over.
Right.
Because we all lived in different towns. So like the parents didn't want us driving.
Right. So Lexi was studying for her bar mitzvah. So she was 12. And so you were 16. So you had your license. So you did not come to Friday night services.
What do you mean? For Lexi's bat mitzvah?
No. She was studying because, you had to go to Friday night services.
I did
so you stopped going.
I paid my dues.
And then you said you were staying over so-and-so's house. I called you. You didn't answer. I called and called and called. And then you called me and I said, go ahead.
I'm going to go back because this was, yes, I did have a cell phone, but every single household still had landlines and very much only used landlines when they were home. So I said I was going to so-and-so's house and I think I told you where I was going, but the whole point is I wanted a sleepover. I was kind of seeing that boy. And
who was that? Dan?
Josh.
Oh, Josh. Shout out to Josh. I won't say his last name. Go.
Yeah. Like he has a wife and a baby, but like he would laugh at this if he heard it. Anyway, so yeah, I was there and a friend of mine was like, no, if you use my cell phone, it comes up as a landline because cell phones would come up saying like, New Haven, Connecticut. It would say the county you're from and your home would say your parents' names. So I was like, oh, okay. So I called my mom and I'm like, hi, I'm at Josh's house. Just wanted to let you know I'm here. Blah, blah, blah. Love you. And she was like, no, you're not.
Wait, you left a message or something. Right. Oh no, I was on the phone with you.
Yeah,
you were in the car schlepping around trying to find you. Sorry.
Why were you trying to find me?
Because I was worried because I'd been calling you.
So then I told her she figured out that I wasn't,
that you were lying to me.
That I was lying because I think I said I was sleeping at a girl's house or something. And
I'm so pissed.
And she was like, get your ass home. And I was like, but I've been drinking. And she was like, I don't care. Get your ass home because I don't think you really thought I was like drinking.
No, but what I said to you, nice try, Elyssa. You're calling from a cell phone. You go, no, I'm not. I'm calling from a landline. I go, bullshit. You're not.
Yeah.
And like you hung up on me a million times.
Yeah. I mean, looking back at all the things that I thought were so like slick and sly and like that you guys believed me, like some of the shit that you did believe me about, like, I don't know how you believed me because
we wanted to, I can't speak for your father because we wanted to believe. So that night, so she stayed over where she was.
I didn't. I came home.
You did come home?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You were bullshit with me. Bullshit. I come into your room. I'll never forget this. And this is like the first time I stood in my truth.
Or
and
was
I stood
it,
there.
or
No,
was
no,
it my
no.
sophomore year of high school when I went to prom and got taken home?
No, that's another story. That's another story. So I stood in your doorway and you said to me, you know, all my, I guess I'm getting very emotional here. I said, you said, you know, all my friends thought you were really cool, but now nobody thinks you're cool anymore.
Like, as if that would affect you.
Because you made me call from a landline. And so I'm like, I don't care. Like the last thing I care about is that your friends think I'm cool. I'm good. I don't want them to think that
Right,
I'm
like,
cool.
why would you care?
Because
No,
I'm
saying, why would you care that
rhetorical.
my friends thought?
Well, because I think going back to the original conversation, self-esteem, self-confidence is that when you are a parent who doesn't have that self-confidence and self-esteem, you actually do care about what the fuck your kids are saying to you. Like, I didn't give a shit. I had already just gone through a divorce. I was a single mom. Like, I did not give a shit that your friends thought I was cool or not anymore. Like, remember when that kid, shout out again to Sean, threw you were like drunk and you were like doing body slams and he's 6.5 feet tall. And I walked up to him and what did I say to him,
okay,
Elyssa?
So hold on. I'm just gonna like rewind for a second because this person that my mom is referring to.
We like him.
Yes, he's been one of my best friends since 6th grade. Because I'm so tiny, I am very tiny. I'm 4'11".
4'11", we're pushing it at 85 pounds. 83 pounds. And I'm no giant. I'm 5 feet, but I'm 110.
You're built like a normal person. Anyway, so my guy friends like would just like throw me and toss me and whatever. And so it was a body slam. Don't get it like twisted that it was like, but I like, for whatever reason, because he was so close with my family, I was like, oh, Mom, Sean body slammed me.
My back hurt. Your back hurt.
Like, he did it really. Anyway, so no, but
what did I do?
Didn't you tell him? What did you tell him?
I went up to him and like literally I'm 5 feet tall. He's 6 feet tall.
He's 6'4".
And I went up to him and I'm like, look, don't you ever body slam my daughter ever again, or I will come after you.
He was like, okay, Jodi. No, but yeah. So my mom, I mean, we've always had like, she was always my mom first, obviously, and like acted like a mom. But as we got older, like we became also friends with the appropriate boundaries. Now I don't really know what the boundaries are. There really aren't very many.
No, but I don't know.
But that's just because I'm old.
No. I think, you know, what's lovely about having grown children is if you do raise them with discipline, which Elyssa fought a lot, and boundaries, which I believe, you know, I know for a fact, everybody who has children or an animal or I'm not comparing you guys to animals, but like they all need discipline. So, you know, and that was something Elyssa fought. So when Elyssa would come home later than her curfew, I would take
a curfew.
You did. You would come home. I would take your keys away. How many times did I take your keys away?
That was usually probably for like a bad grade, or the only time I would come home late was like when Liv and I were.
Yeah.
Forgot the garage code.
Right. And threw up on the front lawn. Right. And then, so Elyssa came home one day and your hands smelled really bad. And I accused you of smoking cigarettes. She was always really tiny. I told her that smoking stunted her growth. And she said she didn't care, but the cigarettes didn't belong to her. They belonged to her best friend.
No, they belonged to like Sean, Dan, Evan,
Liv.
No, I never threw Liv under the bus.
You did not.
You started smelling Liv's hands.
Yes.
Every time she would come over.
Right.
So
I'm not a maniac. I'm just a mom. And I think this is what people don't know about me, that I'm not this chill. Like I raised my girls with a lot of discipline and a lot of boundaries.
She put a lot of bars of soap in my mouth as a child. That was a thing.
It was a thing.
Some kids got like the foamy flavored soap. I got like a Dove bar of soap. I will say that. Some kids.
Well,
got like fun soap in their mouth.
Sorry.
That's such a fucked
You
up
didn't- you
thing.
didn't get it.
Why did parents think like, let me put soap in your, anyway.
I don't know. I didn't do that a lot. You spent literally most of your life in timeout.
Yeah.
Right. So the cigarettes, you denied it. I called your best friend's mom because you did
called
say
Debbie?
that. And I had the conversation right in front of you. And Debbie, I don't know if she knew if Liv smoked cigarettes or not, but that was one thing. And then
Deb, you probably did, right?
right. And then the sex.
Wow.
So I thought,
did you think I was like a perfect virgin until like the age that you were?
well, I didn't know that I thought Tyler, the man you're married to, was the first time you ever had sex with anybody. And I unfortunately, does he know that?
What?
That he wasn't the first person you had
Yes,
sex
he
with?
knows
Okay.
that.
I
think that was your own impression because I never
because
like
we sat down in Starbucks. Remember, I'll never forget. And I said, "Are you using protection?" And you're like,
I probably like tried to brush off.
you did. You're like, I don't want to talk about this, but it's important to talk to your daughter and your son about that.
No, definitely. I mean, you were always very open about having like real conversations with us about things that were important. So, I mean,
Was I a strict mother?
I think we were pretty good kids, but yeah, I mean, like, listen, education was like a very, very, as it should be, a very, very, very important thing in our family. And I would have rather just talking and hanging out with my friends than being able to sit still in a classroom. So my parents had a really difficult time with coming to terms with like, that I wasn't like they were, and they were like,
well,
no, not like that you were, but I made it more difficult. And I have said to both my parents now, I don't think about life as like, what do I regret? But if there's one thing, not really regret, but more so like, just, I can't understand is like the amount of effort it took to just not do my work and to come up with excuses. Like I should have just done my work. But that's the one thing that you guys used to always say to me. And like, I think maybe after college, I was like, what the hell was I doing? But again, I was still like, I was not a bad kid. But I made it difficult.
Yes.
Like summer reading.
Oh, forget it. You never did your summer reading.
No, and I knew the threats were a joke. If you didn't do at least 2 of your summer reading books before camp, you weren't going to go. And I always went, and I never did my summer reading.
So if you had to, if I had to summarize what it was like raising you, first of all, as a mom, you are always a mom. I said that at the beginning of the show. Am I raising my daughter anymore? No. But let me tell you something. When she gets a cold, when anything happens, I'm the first person she calls.
I call you like 15 times a day.
Right. Like she usually calls me during the show, literally. And I'm like, Elyssa, do you remember? I've been doing this show for 2 years. You remember?
I'm just really thinking about that. I need to ask you something.
Doing the show. So anyway, if you had to summarize me as a mom, what would you say? I'm putting you on the spot here.
No, I know, because it depends on the age. Like when I was like in my young teen age years,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you were strict, like both you and dad. Both of you, I would never say were parents that were like easygoing and lax, like by no means. Like it was follow the rules or you're punished or something gets taken away and then as I got older, it was a matter of whether or not you wanted to continue with the fight of allowing that to happen, like my car keys or whatever else. But
right, but it's like law,
follow the rules
law and order. It's like you listen to your teachers. If you've got an issue with that, you respect your elders, but we still wanted you to be you. Like the fact that you wore, like when I took you to the mall and you wore your
My
Belle
Belle
costume, right? Or you dressed like Minnie Mouse, or
I
you went through your goth stage
my
where,
goth? No.
yes, Elyssa, where you were tweezing your eyebrows
Mom,
off.
that was like
and-
that was any girl that's around my age. I'm 33, will know that in middle school,
Mhm.
that was a thing. That was how bushy eyebrows came back. No eyebrows were a thing, and everybody tweezed them. And now all the millennials, or at least my friends, we talk about how like we wish our eyebrows. There are still parts of my eyebrows that like won't grow back because of that.
Right.
That was
Did you feel like, we only have like 3 minutes left? Did you feel like
Well-
I shoved health and wellness down your throat? Or do you
No,
think,
we always had the best pantry. We always had every snack food. But we did learn about it. So as I grew up, like I knew how to be healthy. I knew what it took to keep your body. I knew about gut health at an age when no one was talking about it. We were very knowledgeable about that. But if we do only have a few minutes,
remember when I made spaghetti and meatballs, but I did tofu?
you were a terrible cook.
I'm terrible.
But
cook.
if we only have a few minutes
Yes.
left, I have
Okay, we have
some
2 minutes
questions.
left. Okay,
Oh,
go.
no. Okay.
I know. So we have to do
So-
this again. You shouldn't have been late. Go.
Okay. What was the hardest thing, or what is the hardest thing about being a mom, and what is the best thing?
The hardest thing about being a mom is worrying all the time. And the best thing about being a mom is having these amazing humans to love for the rest of my life.
Okay, I'm shifting it, not about kids really.
Okay.
I would say, what's your way of showing up for yourself every single day?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Showing up for myself every day.
Or like if you're feeling down or unmotivated, what tools do you use to get yourself out of
Okay,
this
let's
slump?
answer that first question.
Let's
So
answer
it's making sure that I keep the promises to myself. That's part of my discipline. Yes.
Okay. And let's see, I'm trying to think now.
We have 30 seconds left.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you something. Forget the questions right now.
Damn it.
I
We read
know.
some
I
good
know. See, you want to
questions.
come back to the show now, right?
Yeah, I'm a natural.
Yes. See, I told you.
Okay.
So I just want to tell you that I have always loved being your mommy, and you are my firstborn, and you were the biggest pain in the ass in the world, but I love you to
Stop.
death. And I
I
love
love you too, Mom.
how close we are.
You know you're like my best friend.
And I'm
so
always here for you, and I love you.
I love you.
And
I'm proud of you.
that is our show. Oh, thank you. I'm proud of you too.
Thanks.
We have to go. This is the end of Fearlessly Authentic.
What did we even talk about?
We talked about a lot of stuff. Thank you for joining us today on Fearlessly Authentic with my guest, Elyssa Harrison Mangs. I did not get to ask you the question I always ask because we've run out of time.
I was going to ask you that question.
Well, you'll have to come back on the show again.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us today, and I will see you next week. Fearlessly Authentic. Check me out on Instagram and TikTok at Jodi Harrison Bauer.